Alrighty. Seems like my stream has gotten pretty stable. My computer is actively on fire, but maybe I can get some of my stuff to run while it's on fire. The streaming stuff seems to eat up most of my CPU, which is terrible. But I'm gonna see what I can make happen. Music is going. Looks like my stream rate, my frame rate is pretty stable. All right. At some point, I'm gonna have to come up with a schedule for this thing. Maybe even have a countdown timer when I start it. You know, the things that the serious streamers seem to do. What are we up to today? I'm gonna start up my my scene switcher so that I can switch to my general view here. Alright, cool. So I've added a little bit of a to-do list over to the side. Kind of explains in general what I'm going to be up to today. Nobody's watching yet, but I'm going to talk and pretend as if they are. And I'm recording this, so this will come up in the recording later. Alright. So I'm hacking on Firefox Color again today. I'm not going to go through a full demo or explanation of it. I think I'm just going to try diving in. The main thing I want to try getting done today is I want to expand on the work I started doing Monday and a little bit I did yesterday off stream to add multiple background images to Firefox themes and to open up some options for tiling and tiling and positioning within the theme. And you can see kind of some of the garbage results I got from Monday's hacking. I've got 3 images up here. You can barely tell what they are, but you'll see more of that as I start to hack on it some more. I'm also trying to pay a little more attention to my mic. I noticed when I streamed Monday, I was cutting out like every second word or so. I kind of turned down my noise gate a little bit, so hopefully the mic will pick me up even when I'm mumbling, as is my usual wont. But maybe I'll lean away from the mic when I grab a drink of water so you don't hear those lovely noises. Alright. So I guess what is first I'm going to take a look at what are the options for the theme API. So the thing I did Monday is I kind of threaded through the concept of multiple background images all the way from the bottom of the Redux store up through the React Web UI and then into the messaging that goes into the add-on. So now I want to build on that. And I always lose this page. I gotta find this page again. I should bookmark it, leave it open on a tab, pin it, something. So what I'm looking to do... Yeah, so there's an additional backgrounds property that's available in the new theme API. And what I found unexpected is in a different... So there's this... so a theme has basically like these... Well, it isn't listed here, but a theme has kind of 3 main properties. There's images, colors, and not listed here is properties. So images, colors, properties. One of the subkeys of images is additional underscore backgrounds. What I ran into when I worked some more on this yesterday is that along with additional backgrounds, there are additional backgrounds alignment and additional backgrounds tiling properties. But the thing that kind of threw me for a loop is that these properties are not under images. They're under properties. So additional backgrounds is under images, but the additional properties that affect additional backgrounds are under properties. So that was a little unexpected to me, but once I got those in there, they work. What do I have working right now? I think I do have these 3 basic images working right now, and you can tile them. Like if I pick, I really should get some better background or some better images to play with too, because I've got like I've got this, I've got a couple screenshots in there. I pick an image, it should show up there. The performance is not stellar yet. As you can see, it took a few seconds to show up. But I do have them right now layering. So if I pick 3 images, they'll layer. Yeah, so you can see that. So if I pick a 3rd image, you won't see it because the image I just picked takes up the entire width. I should play around with getting some more example images because it would be interesting to see what happens if you try transparent images and things like that. And I think they should compose properly. And so the work I'm doing on Firefox Color, I'm not working on the Firefox theme API directly, at least not yet. I'm just acting as a user of that API, so I'm kind of living with whatever that API does right now. Oh, what other image do I have? I've got some weird images on my computer, so I should probably be careful what folders I drop into. Nothing salacious, but just kind of weird memes. Yeah, why don't we try that? Let's try this image. I should probably drag them on my desktop or something so I have the same images to play with all times. Alright, so my image layering is working. Next thing I'm going to do is add some properties. Actually, the other thing I should do, I'm going to add this to my to-do. I can't clear individual images. Let's try that. And of course that's going to go off the tail end of my little to-do box there. No, that looks alright. This is kind of a new thing. I'm trying this little overlay box on the stream to kind of explain what I'm in progress of doing. And it's just a text file in my editor that I can kind of tab over to and play with. Alright, so I'm looking at the wrong project. Here we go. I'm also trying to remind myself not to do as much editing over here under the to-do overlay, because I noticed the last stream I did, almost all my editing was directly under that box and nobody could see what I was doing. Okay, so diving back into things, I think I'm going to start with just kind of fiddling around with the web UI component. So actually, probably more like what I'm going to do is start from the middle and work outward. Let's just close that tab so it gets out of my way. So what am I looking at here? This is the add-on, which I don't want to look at yet. I also got my music selection on complete random shuffle, so I have no idea what's coming up next. So I'm thinking today I might stream for about an hour. I say that, it'll probably end up being 2 hours. I'm still kind of working around when I can fit this into my schedule to try to do it as often as I can, but at a reliable time. I meant to start about an hour ago today and then just did not manage to, so... Alright, so what am I looking at? I'm looking at a very slow computer is what I'm looking at. So I'm trying to load, if it'll load. There we go. So this is the component for the background picker. So the three kind of ugly things here, custom background image, I'm going to add the tiling and position UI elements to those. And they won't do anything at first. So then my next job will be to dive further in to, like, say, the Redux store, and then wire up those data properties into the backing data store. Alright, let's get back to it. Actually, should probably use studio mode when I try to screw around with the layers in OBS. Oh well. Alright, so I'm cutting that image indexing out. This is one thing I want to do. This is a warm-up. Let's just call that index. I can do fun things like that. Simplify some things. And one of the things I'm doing right now is I'm kind of passing a whole bunch of things. I'm kind of doing a carte blanche pass of all the parent props into these individual selectors, and I'm wondering if I should back off from that a little bit and just give them what they need. This is kind of the yak shaving period when I'm thinking about what to do next. I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, this is some garbage. I don't need that garbage. What else we got? Come on, give me the thing. There we go. You know, I think I'm just going to add a couple drop-down selectors, because we're going to clean up this UI later. We've got some folks working on a better user interface spec for it. I'm just trying to get the capability to work right now. So, what are our options for tiling and alignment? So I'm going to start with alignment, and since the alignment options are listed right here, I'm just going to copy paste them and then massage them once they're in my editor. Then I'm pretty assured of having the right thing. And again, it'll be super ugly, but I don't care about that right now. Now, of course, here's the thing where I forget how to use an HTML select element. You can see the super serious professional at work forgetting basic things at all times. Get in there. Oh, why is everything so slow? Okay. Doopy doopy doop. You know what it is that I actually really forget is how to wire up a select element in Redux or in React and ensure the right thing is selected. It's one of those things I do. I look it up almost every time, immediately forget it. Ugh, that is not a good saxophone. Next one, please. not play song. Well, let's keep going. Alright, the select tag. Well, I remember that much at least. Let's make this somewhat normalized. I'm going to turn these all into select with probably a Vim macro. So, I don't know, let's see. Let's start recording a Vim macro. If it will let me. Yeah, there we go. I would like an option, please. I'm going to delete that quote. Find the next quote. Cool. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of those. Let me see if I did this macro right. 12 repeats of the macro I just made. Hooray! So that's the magic of Vim macros, and I always forget how to use them. Indent that over. And you know what, actually the other thing I'm going to do. I wonder if that'll work for me again. No. I'm trying to be fancy, because I thought it would help me get it done real quick. Let's try this again. Oops. It's the whole thing about being lazy, and I want to find a scripted way to do it, so I spend more time yak shaving on finding the automated way to do it when I could have just done it all by hand. How about this? So, maybe we can do this then. Ha! It worked. Okay, cool. I've been trying to kind of level up on teaching myself Vim macros lately. They're super simple, but you just have to compose a series of Vim moves that are reproducible across all the repeats you want to do. You know, I don't think I want to play an entire podcast in my music player. That's cool, though. I'm going to have to look at that podcast. Although that's an episode from 2014, so who knows if that's still going. Alright, so what do we got so far? This is supposed to be... I don't know, alignment. Yeah, that made it on the mic. Oh well. So I got alignment, and I wanted alignment and repeat. Yeah. So we got these 4. Paste that in there. Of course, I didn't save my previous macro where I turned all these into options. So why don't we start another one? There's only 4 of them, but I'm really trying to repeat and practice doing these macros. So start recording a macro. We'll copy that string. We'll say this is a select. Or no, this is an... It's funny because I'm still recording the macro, I'm just forging ahead, and it is in fact going to repeat all my mistakes. But it also kind of doesn't matter if my mistakes are resulting in the correct thing, which they are not. Screw it. You know what, I'm just going to do this by hand. There's only 3. But I do want to practice Vim macros a little more. It can be a really powerful tool because you can mix, I mean, it's not exactly programming, but you can mix in searches and conditional navigation and things like that. Alright, so what am I trying to do here? I want to feed this, well, first let's see, they're just kind of dumb components right now. Let's see what happens. Current image is never assigned. I see. Yeah, I'm getting a lint error because I deleted some dummy code that kind of showed the current image. I don't need to do that. So there goes my build. It's very slow because it's competing with OBS, and OBS of course is dropping precipitously in frame rate. Oh hey, thanks for the host, Drew. Syntax error. Why for do I have a syntax error? Oh, herp. That is dumb. I made all the options select, okay. That's easy enough to fix. How's my frame rate? It's still dropping below 30. My computer is not liking me. Looks like it built that time. Let's see, did the browser reload? The browser is in the process of reloading. Hey, there are my selectors. They don't do anything yet, but they're gonna. And they're ugly, but I don't care. You know what I should add? Should add a none value to each of these. And I'm thinking... what are the defaults? I don't know, I can handle this in the logic later. This song's gonna run forever. That's another issue with this music player, is some songs do not have lengths, and so then they just run forever. And this one apparently doesn't want to run at all. I'm just gonna shuffle some favorites that I know are pretty good songs. So I got my selectors, and now I'm gonna try to refresh my memory on how to manage a selector with React. It's pretty simple, right? Just have to set the value? That seems too simple. I'm used to things being hard. I don't trust it. But let's try it anyways. Okay. So now, I want these values to be a part of the overall app state. So I could manage these values as part of local component state, but I don't really want that. So I'm going to drive these from props. Now this is what I was thinking about earlier, is right now I have each of these background selectors grabbing the entire list of custom backgrounds available, and I pass them an index, and then each component uses that index to find its own background. But I think I'm going to switch this around and make the selector a little more ignorant and make the parent component find the image for it, so that all it gets... Well, we'll see how I do this. Because the less knowledge that the child component has to have, the simpler it can be. Yeah, so why don't we do... You know, I think I'm going to back off, actually, from this particular section. I know I said I was going to do it in the web UI first, but I think I'm going to back off and dive into the Redux state, because I want to drive that data into these components. So zoom back out. I did not want to open the node modules directory. Yes, I know you're caching a large directory. That was a mistake. Tempted to just kill Vim now. There's a lot of files in there. Thanks to NPM downloading the entire web when you need to work with a node project. I need a better computer. How about this? Let's try reopening my editor. I may have just made Vim very angry. There we go. Welcome back. Of course, the trouble is, Vim is my favorite editor. I do occasionally try, Microsoft's Visual Code, and I also try Atom occasionally. Those editors on this laptop it's just kind of a disaster. Those are surprisingly resource hungry editors. being that they're Electron apps. So for now, I'm using my, oh geez, I've probably been using this for 25 years. Not NeoVim, but Vim, so using my old favorite editor. And it's a complicated editor, but I've spent years learning a lot of the keyboard shortcuts. I don't know all of them. I'm probably a middling Vim wizard, but I know enough of them to be pretty comfortable hopping around. What was I doing? Oh yeah, so I'm diving into the store. So this is my Redux store. There's not a ton to it. There's a few clever bits. Not necessarily my cleverness, but some folks, when they build their Redux stores, they split all this stuff into separate directories. Their actions, their selectors, their reducers. This started off very simple, so I just shoved everything all in the same directory so I could see it in one file. I may split it apart someday as a part of a refactor. The thing that I want to do now... So Monday, I added multiple custom backgrounds. And so I've already done the work of turning that into a list. Now if I can find the... Here it is. So this is an action that I can dispatch to the Redux store. The action has a payload, and this is following the, what is it called? It's a neat utility. It's Redux Actions. That's kind of, it's got a, the author calls it a Flux standard action format. I think that's what it's called. He called it Flux standard action format. Yeah, Flux standard action format. And it's because, like, you know, when you make when you dispatch an action through Redux, you can basically throw whatever you want into that data. This particular module kind of establishes some conventions around that. Like, for example, Flux standard actions always come with payload, and then in that you put your arbitrary stuff. And outside of payload, you can put some other kind of semi-standard things like meta and some other like kind of metadata about the action. Oh, did I run out of music? Curse you. Give me some more music. We're not playing Zoids over again. I only have 2 favorites on here. I think that's my problem. Let's just shuffle everything again. Come on, give us some more music. That's pretty cool for now. E-Madden, weird dude, but cool. Are you talking about my Vim stuff? Alright, well, let's jump back to the code. Oh, wait, I bookmarked it. There we go, now back to the code. So right now, the reason why I talked about that Flux standard action stuff in the payload is because what I want to do now is add those additional properties to the payload that this thing gets. So it takes an index, it takes, let's change the order of these, it doesn't matter, this is an unsorted object. So I want to add, I'm losing my mind. It was tiling and alignment. Tiling and alignment. This line's getting a little long, but that's okay. So now, I see, I'm going to be changing the data structure here a little bit in the store, because it was just a list of URLs, but now it's going to be a list of objects with tiling and alignment. Just for the hell of it. Just kind of out of habit, I reformat my code with prettier multiple times a session. Because I get tired of doing it myself. So I'll just write ugly code and then have a program reformat it for me. And of course I accidentally overwrote it. Yeah, so that just reformatted this a little bit. Kind of spread out the lines a bit. So what I just did is I added the tiling and alignment properties to the payload for this set custom background action. And also had to change the data format because the list of custom backgrounds was just URLs. Now it's going to be an object that contains things like URL, tiling, and alignment. Of course, that's going to break my test, which is fine. I'm going to let it do that. And then I'm going to fix my test. And my test should be automatically running back here in my my shell. So this is kind of a sidebar. This is one of the things I like to do in a lot of projects, is just kind of load up package.json with tons of npm scripts and file watchers and automation. I used to do this with like Gulp, and before that Grunt. These days I just do it all in package.json. So when I do, and I also found this neat node package called npm run all, and it does parallel processes. So, and that's actually probably part of what is assassinating my machine right now. So I do, when I run npm start, that starts a server, which is a Webpack dev server. It starts file watchers for the add-on that I'm building. So every time I change files, the Firefox add-on gets rebuilt. I start a file watcher for linting. So that means my code gets linted every time I change a file. It shows me syntax errors or bad formatting. It starts a validating task, which will point out potential security problems in the extension, things like that. And I start a file watcher for tests. And if you look at each of these things, you can find what they do through this list. And that might actually be part of my problem right now. I might need to back off and like just run tests while I'm coding. Because, let me see, I can drag, I'll drag Task Manager in. These are all node processes that I'm running right now involved with this project. So that could be part of my problem. But that's okay, because I can actually back off if I want. Let's just back off and do tests. I don't actually care about code formatting right now so much. So why don't we do... Let's just run the tests. Because that's the other thing that I do, is I try to split all this stuff apart into individual tasks. So even though npm start fires up the whole stack of file watchers, I can also just run individual ones. So what are we doing? It is going very slowly. That's cool music, but I want to use different music. Do you like Jungle version 2? Well, I don't know. Let me see if I do like Jungle. Alright, so I'm starting up the file watcher for tests. I'll be curious to see how many node processes this ends up forking off. The nice thing about this stuff is, once upon a time, not too long ago, I was using a MacBook Pro and OS X and basically doing Unix-y kind of stuff on there. Now I'm using a Windows machine. And what's nice about all this node web dev build stuff is it's pretty much as happy running under Unix as it is under a Windows PowerShell. There's a few things where it breaks if you build things with too many Unix assumptions, but for the most part, Node is pretty platform agnostic these days. It's still starting up. Well, you know, I know my tests are going to break, so I'm going to go back here and start working on those tests. This is a funky song. Yeah, so this is going to break. I should add some stuff to the tests so that it supports the new properties. And what I'm kind of staring at and going off into a fugue state about here is I'm trying to think where all this data gets touched. Because we do also have a validation layer that ensures tests, or that ensures themes are the correct structure, have expected data in them. And for example, when we do a set theme action, which overwrites the whole theme rather than individual parts of it like the rest of these actions do, normalize theme is run in Redux when this action comes through. Or actually, when this action is dispatched, normalize theme comes in to kind of clean up the data. And part of the reason we do that is because over the course of this project, we've changed the format of themes a few times. And also had a few problems with JavaScript floating point math. So normalize theme kind of cleans that stuff up. Let's see. All right. So the only thing that normalize theme does here with the custom backgrounds is that it makes sure it's an array. So it doesn't care about the contents of the array, which is good because that's the thing I'm about to change. So, okay. So for now I can ignore what theme normalization does. And I'm back to just my test. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. This thing in the background has not yet run my tests? Oh, I know why. It hasn't run my tests because it's a file watcher for tests, and I don't think it initially runs the tests when I start the file watcher. Okay. Never mind. Forging ahead. So currently these tests expect custom backgrounds to be a list of URLs. I'm changing them into a list of objects. Alright, so this is initially correct. We're changing this. Now, I'm not going to teach this test to be aware of these new arguments yet. I'm just going to get it passing again. Now, what's the... I think the chai syntax for that assertion is deep include? Oh, what did I do? Assertion styles, I'm using expect. Come on, just tell me what the... I look this up every time. Yes, tell me what the expect guide says about this. I think it's include, so I can do like... includes? Come on, show me what that cannot be it. Does it not include? Deep. Kidding me. Wow, a buffalo. The hell? I thought there was a list of the API in that page I just clicked on, but apparently not. There we go. Include. Deep include, but not strictly. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I want. So, I'm just going to change this to now for deep. And after I get the test passing again, I'm going to add some code for the new stuff. All right. Incorrect. I'm just gonna lose that for now. Yeah. But that should see my test fixed. Come on, little buddy, you can do it. You can run my tests. Come in with that batch job. Maybe I'll just run them on demand. That looks a little more like it. Like it might actually be running the test this time. It actually ran and all my tests passed. That's cool. Alright, let's see. Been streaming for almost an hour. Not been quite as productive as I hoped. A lot of it is just wrestling with this stupid laptop. Probably gonna stream for another half hour or so. Knowing me though, it'll probably be another hour of just kind of screwing around with this. WTF. Should WTF in a bit. Alright, this song is gonna run forever. I'm not sure it's my favorite. Wow-o-matic. Alright. So we're not going to do any validation of these things, we're just going to make sure they're in there. Where are my values anyways? Tiling, let's just say no repeat for this test. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? So I just like to set my expected test data to variables so it's easy to pass in and then assert against. So then I can say oops, typo. There we go. And this data doesn't, the actual content of these things doesn't matter too much yet. I'm just kind of asserting their presence. There's a lot of weird rave culture Amiga mods back in the 90s, and that's what a lot of this stuff is. Not really all my favorites. This might be a little better. Alright, so just some dummy data here. So there we go. So now what I can do, I'm using the rest notation to say this object is going to have a property of index 0 plus a copy of everything background 0. Then I can say background 0 should deep include. So, long-winded way of getting around to where I can kind of do some shorthand for the data I put in and then the data I expect to see in tests. So this should be asserting that my Redux store will now properly accept and hang on to and manage the additional properties that I'm going to be wiring up in my component. You know, this is one of the less terrible songs I've heard in the last half hour. I'm just going to favorite that. Oh, look, I broke something. What did I break? That's a nasty syntax error. Ah, missing a comma. Where's my comma missing? Oh, there it is. Thank you, try again. You know, I'm half tempted for my next stream to just fire all this crap up in like a remote Amazon EC2 box or something. Let my laptop do the streaming and just push all the development off to an EC box. I'm thinking the irony of that is, even though it's over the network and across state lines, it'll probably be more performant. Hey, got the wrong data. Either my test is broken, which is probably the case, or my code is broken that I'm testing. Did I do... Oh yeah, my test is broken. No, my test is not broken. My test is broken. I need a 1 here. The heck music is this now? Oh, you don't say. Let's try the next one. Nice. And my test passed, hooray. Little chiptune Star Wars cover. I'll drop that in my favorites. Okay, back to it. So, this is not a very exhaustive test, but it's just kind of showing that I can add 2 backgrounds to the Redux store. I can add these 2 backgrounds with all the newly expected background properties. And so now I think I can return to my component and wire those attributes up. Yeah, okay. So here's what we're gonna do. Let's simplify this a little bit. here's what we're gonna do. So, sometimes I think about what I want to do and I just stare at the screen for like 20 minutes before I start typing. That's not super exciting. I should just start hacking this as dirtily as I can. So we want to put at least 3 background images in here. I was thinking I could just iterate over the list of current backgrounds, but of course that doesn't work if we don't have any backgrounds yet, so that's why I kind of have 3 selectors hard-coded in here right now. You know, and I'm going to clean it up later. Let's just keep coding dirty crap. Okay, so we got our index, we got the entire list of backgrounds, we got whether or not it has... Okay. So this is what we want. What did I do down here? So let's bring our store back because I'm already forgetting what I'm storing because I'm going senile. What did I call him? I called him tiling and alignment. And we want that from theme custom backgrounds index. And just in case that doesn't exist, let's just use an empty object. So worst case, these are all empty, right? Right. Okay. Now, just for the sake of seeing that my code is working, I'm going to add that dummy line I had in here earlier. Just a stupid little indicator of whether or not there's an image in this slot. Now, back to the thing about React I looked up earlier. How do we manage the drop down? Just with value, huh? Okay, so we're going to need a couple change handlers here. The value of alignment is going to be alignment. What did I call the other? I called it repeat here, but I called it tiling in my data model, didn't I? Yeah, but that's also what it's called in the theme, so let's call that. I don't even think that I necessarily need to give these things IDs. I probably shouldn't. What else do we need? We need a... Man, there are bits of this song that are way off, way out of tune. Sometimes the mod playback on this thing is a little weird. Alright. Tiling, alignment, correct. Ah, and now we need on change. Handle tiling change. Watch me as I write garbage code. Handle alignment change. Now, I'm still kind of, I don't think I enabled the right. So here, this is dirty too. This is one way of binding handlers. On another project, what is it? Is this a stage 1 or stage 2? This gets into, so we use Babel to transpile a JavaScript, and you could enable different plugins, you could enable different language features, and one of the language features I enable on another project is you can do these assignments in classes that get automatically bound. Basically doing what I'm doing here in the constructor, but it's part of the class syntax. I don't have that feature enabled here, and I'm not going to go through the process of enabling it right now. I probably should, now that I've done this bind hack more than once. It's very ugly, but what it allows me to do is have simpler component code. So I can just say on change in the name of the thing, and I don't have to do this bind at this point. Well, hello. Gotta love Rave. Stealing from LA Styles. Or who the hell did that song? Yeah, I think that was LA Styles. Come on, let's do the next one. Alright. Now I need to write these. I actually need to write these handlers. Typo. And I pretty much know what these should look like, but since I've been consulting the docs, what does it say? Set value, event, target event value. Okay. Event target value. But what I'm going to do here, in the React example, they're managing these things in local state. I'm not going to do that. On changing the dropdown, I'm going to throw it through the Redux store so it comes back in as props. And later, what that's going to do, since the add-on is getting messages from the Redux store, you change that dropdown, it'll end up in the browser. I'll explain that a little bit more when I get to it. Yeah, this song is slightly less pornographic, so that's cool. It's not really the kind of stream I'm trying to do. Alright, so this is also going to, I think, necessitate a change to... No, it's not going to make me have to change a lot. Yeah, I am going to have to copy this. Okay. I'm going to do some more cleanup of this stuff later. A lot of copy pasta. So what I want to do here... Where do we get set custom background? Yes. I'm going to have to do it down there too. This is starting to smell like something I could dry up a little bit with some reused code. I mean, programming can be orgasmic. Yeah, you know, when you really, when you hit those eureka moments. It can be really, really satisfying, I guess. Index, URL. So what I'm doing here is these three handlers alter the custom background for this index, but they each only alter one aspect of it. Nonetheless, they each have to copy over the other unchanged properties. But in each of these, they're going to change one of the properties. These are some very high-tech drums. Okay. I haven't even tried running this yet, but I think it's getting close to what I want. What am I missing? That's gonna break. Yeah, that looks all right. Just before I do anything else, let me do some syntax checking, because the build takes a lot longer than checking syntax. And while that's happening, what other songs do we have? I'm bored of you already. Next. Come on. There we go. This is... maybe this will turn out awesome, I don't know. You know what I really want to hear? There we go, let's hear a little Amiga demo music. Themes, where, that is my least favorite linting rule. Is trailing spaces not allowed. I should just turn it off, but because it's my project and I put the linting rule in there as a default, but let's just fix this real quick. It's ugly code. It's masking other errors. Okay, back to my component. Trailing space is not allowed. Oh, what if we... Hey, let's do this. That's an option I have available. I'm going to do this by hand. It's a nice thing in ESLint that I keep forgetting about is simple linting mistakes. It can fix them for you. Maybe not. It's supposed to work. You fix? No? You fix. Fix code now. Hey, okay, so it fixed everything but what it couldn't fix, which is fair. I know what's missing. I didn't destructure those handlers out of this. What else? What else you got for me? URL is assigned a value but never used. That seems like a mistake, but is correct. Okay. What you got for me? This song, I remember from back in the day, because I seem to remember it was a really cool 3D Amiga demo that I'd spent hours downloading from a dial-up BBS to run on my Amiga. Yay, no linting errors. Okay, so What was my command to just frickin' build? I'm abandoning my file watchers for now. You know what? Okay. Not entirely abandoning on them, because I do need my web server to run. And here we go. Guess I can kind of further visually inspect my code. Actually, you know what else I can do? I actually did finish one of my to-dos right now, I think, so let's check that off on screen. And in fact, I have changed what I'm doing. There you go. So that should refresh in a second. Yeah, there we go. Looks like it is still building. Progress. Yeah, I think I may try streaming again on Friday, and I am super tempted to spin up a remote dev box on Amazon EC2 and just take advantage of their CPUs, because I think this laptop is hard-pressed to run the music in the stream and actually build my project, which is really sad in 2018. It's mainly because I got this tiny 13-inch laptop, thinking the portability would be more important than the computing power, and I was wrong. Still building. For the hell of it, I have done development from an EC2 box before. It actually is not too bad if you have enough bandwidth. You can run a full copy of Windows on it, you can run a Linux graphical environment on it, or you can just run shells. Which is what I might end up doing, who knows. Open some ports, serve up the Webpack dev server. Oh, you have a underpowered 13-inch laptop also. Yeah, I will say that is one thing. If I am not trying to build the world on my laptop, I can squeeze like 8 to 10 hours of battery life out of it at a conference. Like if all I'm doing is checking email and Twitter and running the occasional thing, it can last for quite a while. And it's super light. I mean, I got this tiny, tiny bag that like barely fits over my hip, and the laptop fits in there, so I can carry it with me wherever I go. So it's a great conference laptop. Of course, seeing as I only go to conferences maybe 6 times a year, 4 times a year, and I'm at home 360 times a year, maybe I should get a better machine at home. Huh, I haven't heard this before. So, we finally got a reload, right? Okay. So what I want to do now is just to see if I can at least edit the images, which will then mean roughly that I have succeeded in supporting the background images in the web UI. Oh, you know what? I'm missing a task on there. Let's see. Can I alter my to-do list a little bit? I need to make this is just like a bunch of crap I've got in OBS that I should probably make into like a real web view or something. There we go. So what's the state of our UI look like? I'm sure it's going to cause an error, so I should just proactively load up a web console. Nothing I write works the first time. So, how about that? I would like this image. You take a long time. Okay. Oh, I know what happened. So I broke the add-on because I changed the data structure from just a list of URLs to a list of objects. So it's not going to work in the add-on right now. Thus, why whatever, I'm pointing the wrong thing. That's why I added to the to-dos. So let's see, can I change that? I can change that. The other thing I can look at is the Redux debugging, because this is going to tell me what actions are getting dispatched into the data layer. Let's see the action. Yeah, so here I set the URL. Here I set the alignment. Good, good, good. And I'm going to issue one more event. I would like to set the tiling. Another event showed up. Good, good, good. Tiling change to repeat. All right. That is what I wanted to see. It worked. Which makes me highly suspicious still. I'm gonna think that I screwed something up until the very end. Alright, so. What happens when I clear this background? Right now, the clear background button, though, clears everything. Doesn't it? At least it should. But it didn't clear these selectors. That's interesting. There's probably something Reduxy that I'm missing. Okay. So provisionally, I'm gonna say I did this. And now doing this. Moving into add-on land. But I'm gonna keep that component in my background. So up in add-on land, all the magic happens in the background script, which loaded in my test split? Why did you do that? Get out of here. Let's just simplify things, load one file right now. We want the background script. Come on, you can do it. There we go. So the relevant part is there we go. So, what I haven't talked about in this stream, I talked about on a previous stream, is actually I can just peek at it real quick. The fun thing about this React Redux thing that I've got set up is when a React component dispatches an action to change something in the Redux store, there's a concept of middleware. And one of the middleware I have intercepts, well, it doesn't intercept, it kind of spies on the state of the Redux store. And when the theme changes in the Redux store, this bit of middleware sends a message to the add-on installed in Firefox. And that message tells the add-on to change the theme in the browser. So, what's cool about that is the React component that's managing the additional backgrounds doesn't need to know anything about the browser add-on. It's just telling Redux, change this part of the theme. And then the middleware says, oh, the theme changed? Okay, well, I better tell the browser. So that means components across the app that change individual little parts of the theme, none of them need to know a thing about what eventually happens to that theme. And in turn, this middleware doesn't need to know who changed the theme, it just needs to know the theme was changed, so update the browser. So that's kind of a cool little loosely coupled thing in this app. I mean, it's kind of like React Redux 101, but you can do cool things like that with middleware. It's all right. The thing I need to fix here is that this was expecting a simple list of backgrounds, which it no longer has. So what I'm gonna blow this up. I'm gonna say yeah, okay. So we want to get a handle on, this is the incoming theme. At this stage, there could be custom backgrounds, there could not be. This could be an actual list, it could be undefined. So how about we do this? That is incorrect. Oh, sneeze time. That's still loud. Okay. So, if we have some custom backgrounds, here's what we're gonna do. We want some images. We want some properties. See, it's a little weird. So I'm converting from the incoming data, which is a list of objects. I made it simple on myself on the React Redux side by just making them a list of backgrounds and their properties. On the Firefox side, I need to blow that apart and slot that data into the appropriate sections of the theme data structure, which I talked about earlier is a little surprising. The theme data structure has, so the theme data structure, it's a JSON or JavaScript object. It's got 3 top-level keys. It's got images, colors, properties. The background images go in an additional backgrounds sub-key of images, but then the additional properties affecting those backgrounds go under properties and not images. So I need to carve those up and split them off. It's annoying. But I think it's following, I think we loosely follow the spec that Google Chrome started, because I think the folks working on the theme API were aiming at kind of an initial rough compatibility with Chrome themes in this latest go-round in building themes. This is what I'm going to do. Additional backgrounds alignment. No. Come on, tab complete. Do the right thing. And yada yada yada. Actually, I can get clever here with the, where did my cursor go? I did not want to do that. Thank you. Let's get clever with object destructuring. So I know this data coming in should be alignment tiling. So what I will do is I'm kind of distributing the data off to the appropriate lists. Very lazy. I think probably 3/4 of my program typing, or typing and programming, is tab completion. Is this assign, object assign? Is that what I'm looking for? Is that the JavaScript way now? Lodash has an extend method. JavaScript now has, I think it's object assign. Yes, it's object assign. Super slow. Come on. Okay, well, I already know what I'm looking for here. Yeah. Okay. So, object assign, new theme. Yeah, so this is just kind of juggling. Oh, I know what I did here. We don't need that there anymore because I used to set them to default values. I don't need to do object assign, actually. Let's just say this. I guess I could, but I guess at some point we're going to have different properties and I don't want to clobber them entirely. You know what I can do? Lazy, lazy, lazy. It's all about the proper naming of your variables so you can do lazy crap later. Really like this new JavaScript syntax, well, newish JavaScript syntax of if your variable is named the same thing as the property in the object, you don't need to do garbage like this. Or you repeat yourself. You can just get rid of that. Makes for a lot of clever little syntax. Okay. I think I got it. So, what I ended up with here, I'm collecting the backgrounds, the alignments, the tilings into 3 separate arrays, carving them apart from the data structure coming up from the web app and then distributing them into the proper places inside the theme that the browser wants. Now, I'm going to blow everything up. Try to remember if I have... So at this point, I need both the website built and the add-on. I'm going to ignore tests for now. Yeah, let's try this. Actually, do I have MPX installed on here? That's promising. So one of the nice things about the MPX command is if you have node packages installed on your project that come along with command line commands, NPX will find them. But it's being super slow right now, so maybe not. Anyway. No node. I'll just npm run all parallel server watch extension. So this gets me the website built and the browser extension built with file watchers all in one go. Curious to watch my task manager and see just how many node processes this spews up. What am I doing with Chrome? Oh yeah, that's right. Yada yada yada, building, building, building. I think it's working. I'm gonna play an exciting song. This is one of my favorites. Come on, little buddy, you can do it. Build that website, build that extension. See, what's annoying is when I'm not streaming, this is at least tolerable. Here you go. So what I'm hoping to do now, once that finishes building, I'm going to go back to my web browser. Firefox has this About Debugging tab. Using that, you can temporarily load in and reload web extensions, which is the new add-on model for Firefox. So once my extension builds, I'm going to reload it, I'm going to reload the web page, and what should happen is I should be able to select background images and select their alignment and repeat and all that fun stuff. Let's dock that to the bottom. I don't like that layout. You know, let's just close it for now. How you doing over here? Oh yay, okay, so that's the add-on built. How about the website? Did you already build the website? You did build the website. Okay. Oh, no, you didn't. You're still working on that. That was from the previous run. Well, let's just see how you're doing, buddy. Now, this is an exciting drum beat. Okay, the site is built. Let's reload that page. Let's also reload that extension. You can see the color changed. Pointing right direction, yeah. Wrong way. Yeah, there's the... no. I don't have my left from my right. Alright, reloaded the extension. I'm hoping it didn't give me an error. Was there an error in that extension? There was an error at one point, and that's old. Let's clear out some of this. Oh no, apparently the site is not finished building. Some days I hate computer. I just banged the mic. Alright. About 15 minutes. I'll have streamed for 2 hours. I initially meant to stream for 90 minutes. But I'm really close to calling this third to-do finished. I might give it a little longer. And then I think I might call this to a close. Like I said earlier, I'm still trying to figure out a good schedule for myself. I've been considering like 3 p.m. Eastern, maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday to do day job stuff, which is what this is. And then maybe 2 hours at a time. So then I can at least like time box a good solid productive chunk of time for me, assuming all my equipment cooperates. Looks like it's loaded finally, looks like it built finally. Yeah, I don't care. Load that page, thank you. Reload that add-on, thank you. So what happens is, you can see, actually you can see when I reload the add-on, the theme goes back to default. This is my default Windows theme. And once the add-on is loaded, then the browser theme changes. The website reloads, talks to the add-on, tells it what theme to display. Without the website, the add-on will just load whatever your last selected theme was. So like if I pick this one in a few seconds, because my machine is slow, it should update the browser theme. There it goes. Okay, so I can pick these themes. I should see the theme reflected up here. And eventually, there we go, yeah. Shows up there, eventually it'll show up there. Yeah, so this is supposed to be the magic of Firefox Color, is I can do fun things like, I don't like that teal. I'm gonna change it to purple to make it really ugly. Hey, give me some purple. And up till now, Firefox Color has been color, not images. Except for these canned images that come with it. I didn't get to upload these images just come with the site. And you can see it'll load up there. Now what I'm doing now is going to replace that with an image from my local disk. Apparently it's going to take forever to do that. It's okay. Screw that, let's pick an image. You know, actually, oh, I know what happened. I know what happened. I deleted, what did I delete? I deleted a thing that was a good, was a good default. And I'm pretty sure if I were to look at my browser log, I would see an error. No? Okay, well I know what it is. There's, I'm setting additional backgrounds and background alignment and all this stuff for the custom background case. I stopped setting them for the canned background case. And I don't remember off the top of my head what they were, so I'm just going to look at my handy dandy git diff, and see what they were. Though I barely have frozen my shell now. Can I type? Thank you. Show me what I deleted. Yes, this is what I deleted. I deleted this. Okay. Let's do this. Let's not do that. That's incorrect. Let's do this. Thank you. I notice about diff. Let's clean that up. So these are defaults for the previous way of installing images. This is very jaunty. What is this from? Oh, this is from Game Boy Advance. There's a lot of cool chiptunes and game music on this thing. There we go. You know what? How about we do this? This is specific to this. Nope. Not intended. It cleans things up a little bit, I guess. Makes them a little more orthogonal. And extension is building. Someday, if I'm lucky, it'll work. Oh, I want to hear this song. Alright, back to the browser, where I think I may have unbroken things. But just to be safe, I'm bringing the browser console. Let's reload that add-on. I don't know where that error is coming from, but I don't think it's relevant to what I'm doing. And there we go. So that's what I was trying to show just a second ago, that I had broken and now fixed. So before the custom background stuff I'm working on, you could set a background image. It's just that it was from a predefined set of choices. I think some of those choices are kind of rad, but people want to specify their own images. The nice thing about these canned images is you can share your theme via URL. And it's an ugly URL, but since we have these canned images, we can refer to them with a compact ID. We don't include the entire bitstream of the image in the URL, because everybody has the same set of URLs. So I can just say image number 5. And so when you get this URL, you get all the colors, which are also relatively compact to express, and you get the image ID. So I can send this butt ugly theme to someone in, I don't know, let's say Chrome, Google Chrome. So that was in Firefox. This is Google Chrome. I can say, hey dude, take a look at my ugly theme. I just copied and pasted the URL. It loads. It's called Firefox Color, but you can preview the theme in Chrome. And it's got the image in it, which is cool because I just referred to it with an ID. So, and we've got our a little enticement to download and install Firefox. So you can tell all your friends who have Chrome, come use Firefox because you can make rad themes. It's a small thing. We're not hoping to like save the browser world with that, but it's neat. So like you can, there were a few threads on Reddit where folks were sharing their themes, and it's an ugly long URL, but it shortens nicely. So, where's this background? There it is. So, okay. When you switch to sharing, and when you switch to creating a theme with an image, then we have to disable the theme sharing, unfortunately. Because at that point, you're uploading an arbitrary image into the browser, and that just gets to be too huge to express in a URL that is easily copy shareable like this. So, having said that, having fixed this, back to the grindstone. Actually, I might actually have it working now. So let's say I'm going to add a custom image. This one, you're not going to see. And the other thing too, it's weird, like the images are kind of short, so you don't see very much of it. And when I add that image, there was probably an error. No? Didn't I just pick an image? My screen is getting too small and crowded for this. Come on, console, tell me good things. This has a nice baseline to it. Alright, it reloaded on me, I guess. Yeah, let's find an image. Again. And go. Type error for parameter details, expected string instead of undefined for theme update. So I did, there's the code in the add-on is not working that I just added. So let's debug that a little bit. Close it in 2 hours. Actually, I may wrap up soon. Let's give it one more. Let's give it one more round. Yeah, I'm gonna do, just for the sake of what the hell. What am I sending this thing? I think I'm sending the right thing, but I might not be. Oh, my music player died. It, too, is a project I've been working on. It's not my project, but I've taken the source code and I've been hacking it a little bit to get it to do things I like to do. There you go. How about, what was the name of that demo? No, not wind. Dun, dun, dun. Was it this? We'll see. Oof. I know what happened. Where are you at? Okay, let's reload that extension. Alright, so I sent it some data. Doesn't like what it got. What's in this object? Okay, so this is, oh, I see. They're undefined. I didn't set them. I need defaults. Let's give it defaults. So alignment. Our default alignment is left top. This was a hot demo back in the day. Wild Copper on the Amiga. Use the text-to-speech that came with it. Alright, let's build that extension again. I'm over 2 hours now. I gotta go cook some dinner. Big bucks, no whammies. Let's hope this worked. Let's reload that add-on. Let's hope I didn't destroy everything. Ah, image loaded. Okay, awesome. Let's try an alignment. How about right top? It went to right top. Let's try center. Center. Sweet. Let's try a different image. So I think I might have actually finished my third to-do just now. If additional things don't break. What else? Let's repeat this image. Repeat works. It's a little hard to see because there's only so much real estate up here to play with. So one of the things that we might eventually add to this is some kind of little image editing, light image editing, cropping, things like that. Let's do a no repeat. I gotta find a smaller image to throw in there because what I really want to do is test them layering. Now obviously what I need to do next time is I need to get a set of background images to really test this. And all I got here is just my pictures folder on my desktop, which I think it's got some cool stuff in it. Did I just break it? It's all very slow. That's going to be one of the next things I try to work on, is to make things a little faster. Are you going to load? It's also weird because I've got these 3 slots. I don't know that it handles having a gap in the middle of the slots. These are not good images for this test anyways. But I think I can show that it's doing what I hoped it would do. Yeah, I think it's working. Yeah, alright. Alright, you can see it. I have 3 images in there. They're all stacking. I can control which way they're going. My performance is abysmal, but we'll get to that next. It's not actually one of my to-dos today. Okay. I'm at just a little over 2 hours and 5 minutes. Got dinner to cook. I'm gonna call this to-do done before I forget. Since I did all this work, get the work off my machine. So let's do a quick review of what I did. Changed a few things. Juggled some things around in the add-on. So you know what, I'm going to get rid of that. Yeah, I'm going to leave that log message in there for now. I changed how the custom background handling works to accommodate the alignment and tiling properties. I updated the tests a bit so that the Redux store is handling these multiple properties now. I updated the web UI a bit so that it supports these tiling and alignment drop-downs for each image. I'm sure there's a cleaner way I can do this, but it's working, so I'll clean up later. And that's about it. So, added tiling and alignment to the web app, added it to the Redux store, added understanding of those properties to the extension. And if my machine was faster, it probably wouldn't have taken me 2 hours. So what I'm going to do now I'm going to page through it one more time to make sure I didn't leave any swear words in there. One of my bad habits is making my software swear like a sailor in log messages. So I always kind of take a second sweep through to make sure I did not do that. Okay, looks good enough for now. Back in the day, back in the late 90s, I worked on CD-ROM software. And one of my macro... What was it? Macro... What the hell was the name? It was Director. I forget the name of the company now. I'm brain farting. Anyways, one of my Director CD-ROM projects told the client to fuck off, and that was not a popular thing. I mean, it didn't tell the client directly to fuck off, but the CD-ROM did tell the user to fuck off, and the client saw it. Now, when I check something into Git, I think it's this project? No, it's another project. Another project I work on has lots of hooks to where every time you check something in, it runs the tests, it reformats the code. This just has GPG signing. Because some of our projects were starting to try to enforce signing with crypto keys to ensure who committed the code is who they said they were. Yeah, that is not my name. All right, cool. So my last 2 hours and almost 10 minutes of work is flying across the inner tubes, and it is now... Let's see, what fork did I just do? Let's see when I can name this. Yeah, there we go. So I'm just making sure. I have more than once lost hours of work by forgetting to push to the Git repository. Here we go. The other thing I'm doing too, this is a branch off a master. I've just been pushing all my work. As I do it, I intend to squash all this and do some cleanup at the end. I'm just going to leave myself notes. But it is at least off my machine. I finished 3 out of 4 of the things I meant to do today. And now it's time for dinner. So thanks everybody who's been watching. Got a couple follows, that's cool. I'm hoping to do this again on Friday. Probably around 3 Eastern. I'll probably do some more of this. I'm hoping to do this on a regular basis. So far, I'm thinking of maybe doing it Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll see. I meant to do it 3 p.m. Eastern today and didn't actually start until like 3:45. So, trying to get that schedule down. Alright, I'm going to call this to a close. Thanks so much for watching. And check out the project. It's actually, I'll just give one quick plug before I go. What I have been working on is a Firefox test pilot experiment. And this is the team that I primarily work on at Mozilla these days. The nice thing about Firefox test pilot and how we've designed it is if you want to contribute to the efforts at Mozilla, one of the ways you can do that is by just installing experiments and trying them out. Because your usage and your feedback on these things tell us whether or not these could be useful features in Firefox. If you want to level up from there, each of these features, each of these experiments are open source on GitHub. Then you can, if any of them really strike your interest, you can jump in, contribute some code. This one in particular I'm working on is, again, it's Firefox Color. It's on GitHub. You can contribute some fixes, contribute some code, give us some suggestions. And yeah, I think that's about it for my plug today, and that's about it for my stream. So thanks for stopping by. Hope to see you again. Cheers.